nataka kurusha kwa walai. Hapo iko sawa.
Now, we want to look at what is the worst that can happen. I want to be very quick and very brief. There are few things that can happen, and I'm not just going to look at the negative. If you are here for the first time, consider subscribing, guys. Those who've already subscribed, thank you so much. Nairobi kumechemka. Na si Nairobi peke yake, Kisumu. I'm told from reliable sources that kuna hoteli ya MP imechomwa pale Kisumu. I'm going to establish ni ya nani, but that is one of the worst that could happen. So, point number one, we are likely to lose some businesses. There is something called collateral damage. When you do not listen, when regimes have to be forced, when the government does not listen, when you are being pushed, when you don't engage, when you don't want dialogue, mkionyeshana madharau, that is what happens. A coup, political coup. If this goes the way it's going, imagine if it was well planned. If it was well planned, you do not want to imagine what can happen. A government can be overthrown. There are governments that have been overthrown because of such simple things. You know what Africa is, and some African countries have gone through that route. Another worst thing that can happen is we might lose lives, unfortunately. Because one or two police officers, sometimes police officers do not want to kill people on this demonstration. But now in this scenario, a police officer is hit. Jiwe imekuja ikagonga police officer kwa mawe, kwa kichwa. You are a human being. And probably this thing is tribal. So if, let me say, allow me to use this, a Kalenjin police officer has been hit in the middle of Kisumu. He knows very well that the higher percentage of the people who are here are Luos. So ataachilia risasi. Unfortunately, we might lose some people. And that is our prayer, that we should not lose anyone in such a thing. And then, of course, the very last and worst that might happen is the fact that William Ruto and his government may fail to understand the message that Raila is sending. This is a strong message, and that is how messages are sent. If you fail to take the message, that is a disaster. And do not underestimate Raila Odinga. Somebody who calls for demonstrations and people come up. William Ruto has never called for any demonstrations and people show up. Let him try one day, call for mass action or call for people to come. We'll only see a few Kalenjins in Eldoret and other places. We will not see people come up in every corner of Kenya. So William Ruto, if he misses the point that Raila Odinga is actually a movement, not just any other person, that is the disaster that can happen. Guys, thank you for being here. And as I always say, that is the spotlight.